more variety.
Good afternoon, Ghana. It's 12 o'clock. Time to reach for mobile water. Mobile water, unique in every way.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Citi News.
It's midday. Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Citi Prime News. We're coming to you live from our studios at number 11, Dr. Martin Loop in Adabraka, Accra. My name is Ajuaten Kramadom. Coming up this afternoon, North Tongue MP Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa secures another victory against National Cathedral's Victor Kusi Boateng as Court of Appeals throws out case awarding 3,000 cedis cost to the legislator. Also coming up, anti-corruption crusader backs defense by former NAPDAM MP Moses Asaga over $133,000 illicit property claims.
In this particular instance, it may not be much ado about nothing in other instances, but in this particular instance, I don't see how $133,000 property should become an issue.
Still in this bulletin, majority and minority caucuses in Parliament trade accusations on a supposed sabotage of a bill to regulate the free senior high school policy.
There's no free SHS bill in this house. The Republic, NDC, NDP lock on over free. Who locked on? Nobody's locking on.
And later, cement manufacturers petitioned Parliament to reject a new legislative instrument being introduced by the Trade and Industry Minister Katie Hammond to regulate cement prices in Ghana.
So our petition is virtually to appeal to Parliament to decline so that the new processes will have to be observed or adhered to.
Stay with us for details of these and more stories coming your way in the next 30 minutes. Remember, the bulletin is live around the globe on citinewsroom.com, on YouTube, and on Facebook. You can find us on Citi 97.3 FM. Across the country, we're also live on a number of affiliates in the Western region. Premier 100.5 FM in Takrady Beach, 105.5 FM in Takrady in the Bunu region, Greener, 95.9 FM in Sunyai, in the Ashanti region, Orange, 107.9 FM Kumasi. In the Volta region, Global 105.1 FM in Ho, Adanu 107.7 FM in Adakluwaya. In the Northern region, this is Diamond 93.7 FM in Tamale. In Upper West, you can find us on Westlink 88.1 FM in Laura. In the Upper East region, Source 100.1 FM in Boko. And in the Northeast region, this is Scarp 101.3 FM in Nangpanduri. Please stay for details.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connects you to the newsmakers.
Grateful for your time this afternoon. Let's begin from here. And the co-chair of the Citizens Movement Against Corruption, Edemson Anu, says a current controversy around a former member of parliament for NAPDAM, Moses Asaga, owning properties in Dubai is much ado about nothing. A report by UK-based think tank, the Crime and Corruption Reporting Project, implicated several former appointees of the Mahama administration, including Mr. Asaga and Inusa Fuseni, among others. Now, the former MP has dismissed the claims and described them as a political machination, adding that his 30-year career journey, including playing significant roles at GMPC, Ecobank, and NPA, makes the properties easy to acquire. Now, speaking to Citi News, Edemson Anu says the various offices Mr. Asaga has occupied put him in the position to afford the property worth $133,000.
Honestly speaking, I don't think $133,000 property amounts to much, honestly speaking. It doesn't seem out of line at all. And I have a strong suspicion that I don't have the figures at my fingertips. I have a feeling that if we took the MP's monthly remuneration, and assume that 60% is spent on household, and then did a 40% and multiplied it over a certain period, it shouldn't be out of place at all. In fact, even in Ghana, I suspect you get properties. But we should check the property market. 150,000 up to 350, even in Ghana.
So it's not about nothing.
You know, the thing is, you need to do a little bit of research. What are the property rates when you are buying properties in Ghana at the moment? How much is the average income of somebody who's at GNPC, let's say middle level to senior level? I have a strong suspicion that in this particular instance, it may not be much ado about nothing in other instances, but in this particular instance, I don't see how $133,000 property should become an issue.
You heard Adam Senanu, he's an anti-corruption crusader. Away from that story, the minority in parliament is cautioning the majority leader, Alexander Penyo-Markin, to refrain from accusing the group of being opposed to the free senior high school policy bill. The majority leader made the allegations during a press briefing in parliament on Tuesday. However, the minority chief whip, Gavins Abuja, described the claims as unfounded, pointing out that the bill has not yet been presented to the House. Mr. Abuja made these remarks while speaking on the floor of Parliament.
The leader of our party, the minority leader, and all of us spoke clearly, stating that whenever the bill is introduced in Parliament, we shall do whatever it takes to make the bill work so that we can improve the free SHS and make it sustainable. Mr. Speaker, we woke up this morning, another syndicated or whatever you call it, I read here, Accra Times, Penyo-Markin yells at minority, you are not ready for free SHS. Mr. Speaker, listen. Penyo-Markin yells at NDC, you are not ready for free SHS. Mr. Speaker, and you, Mr. Speaker, there's no free SHS bill in this House. 2, the publisher, Penyo-Markin challenges minority over free SHS bill. Where is the free SHS bill? 3, the Republic, NDC, NDP lock on over free. Who locked on? Nobody's locking on. There's no free SHS bill. Mr. Speaker, the majority leader is abandoning his job in the House and basically speaking about free SHS even more than the Minister of Education.
You had the minority chief whip, Gavins Abuja. Well, the majority chief whip, Frank Anadompre, responded to this by characterizing the minority's rebuttal as unnecessary. According to him, the majority leader's intention was only to solicit support from the minority for the bill rather than accuse them of opposing it.
First of all, there should be calm. My colleague should not raise the temperature unnecessarily. He came under Order 93. Duly came under 93. However, I think that one of the things you should also recognize is that if the leader makes a statement and the papers choose to use headlines that they desire, you cannot hold the leader responsible for those headlines. So you should be able to distinguish between contextual headlines that are used by papers and what the leader said. The leader has been consistent. And he's been challenging you and praying that you have a change of mind this time. You have a change of mind this time to support the free. No, let's be calm. So that this time you will not run adverts against the free SHS. You will rather support. That is all the leader has been seeking to do. And so the leader says he's assuring this House that the bill will come.
That's the majority chief with Frank Anadompre. Now, the convener for the Locked Up Investment Holders Forum, Dr. Duana Nienchi, has expressed disappointment with the finance minister's comments, suggesting that the government should not be held responsible for the investment decisions of individuals. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, while announcing a 1.5 billion cedi cushion for victims of the financial sector cleanup, said the funds have been provided due to the caring nature of the government and not out of responsibility. Well, in response, Dr. Duana Nienchi says the minister is exhibiting a lack of understanding of the financial market. He spoke to City News as the Locked Up Investment Holders from today resumed their picketing at the Finance Ministry as part of their protest to get financial assurances to enable the Bank of Ghana to revoke the licenses of distressed financial institutions.
to me, it means the minister doesn't understand the workings of our financial market, especially in terms of regulating and licensing institutions to be working in the industry. The government, through regulators, license institutions. License means you have assured investors that this is the place you should go. This is the place you should go. So I asked the minister, were this money sent to Piram? Were they sent to R5? Or were they sent to NAM1, the gold? No, they were sent to licensed and regulated institutions. And I keep on saying that regulation, we require, all regulators require that when you are licensed, you displace your license at a conspicuous place in your office. Why? For people to know that you have been licensed, and that is the right, I repeat, the right place to send your money. So if the minister will talk like that, they should tell us, aside of regulated entities, if regulated entities, licensed and regulated entities are not the right place to send our money, the minister should tell us what is the right place to send our money.
Now, Dr. Edouard Anyenchi also urged the government to use portions of the 8 billion cedi savings made from the debt restructuring to pay off all locked-up funds in the financial markets.
This amount is coming from a savings from the financial market. Okay. That savings from the financial market, part of it, and it will be a little, very little part, must be used to clear all locked-up funds in the financial market. That everybody must understand. You have made some savings from the financial market. Use part of the savings to clear the debts that are in the financial market. Then we can all say that we have come to a level where we say nobody's funds is locked up in the financial market, and so the same financial market will receive the monies that will be paid to these investors, because they are not going to send it anywhere. They will still bring it back to the financial market. So first and foremost, part of it, it will be just a little. We have over 8 billion. That is huge. So a little part must be used to clear the financial markets legacy.
In your estimation, how much do you think would be enough to clear these debts?
I don't know, but if I use NDK, I believe NDK clients are owed about in excess of 1.5 billion. I don't know, and the government has said the legacy ones are 4 billion. I don't know how much SDC, Financial Service, and Bond Savings and Loans and RCO. But assuming all of them together, everybody is receiving 1 billion. Those affected now will be about 4 billion. So that is not any big amount compared to $8 billion that savings that we have. And
you have the convener for the Locked Up Investment Holders Forum, Dr. Edouard Anyenchi. Meanwhile, the ranking member on the Finance Committee of Parliament, Isaac Adongo, has described a directive by President Akufo-Addo for the release of 1.5 billion cedis to victims of the banking sector cleanup as a political gimmick. Isaac Adongo contends that a similar directive was issued in the lead-up to the 2020 polls. However, the funds were not released. Speaking to journalists in Parliament, Isaac Adongo says such a provision has not been captured in this year's budget.
You remember in 2020, I did a lecture at Kama Conference Center. And at that program, I told you that I had received a call from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama saying that I should tell the people of Ghana that when he wins power, he will pay everybody. You remember? Immediately they went and issued papers. You remember that? They gave everybody a bond. Do you remember that? What happened to the bonds? 2024 is another election. They've forgotten that 2020 they made that promise. People have even forgotten where the papers are lying. You remember when SEC used Consolidated Bank, that disgraced bank, that is almost like a susu shop, that they should come, people who have them should come and register, and I told them that they don't even have that capacity because those companies have not been liquidated. And per our securities laws, you can revoke your useless paper called the license, which you have degraded. But the assets of the company are not yours. The assets of the company are vested in the hands of the Registrar General.
That's the ranking member on the Finance Committee of Parliament, Isaac Adongo. This is the Citi Prime News. Still ahead, North Tongue MP Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa secures another victory against National Cathedral's Victor Kusi Boateng. We'll tell you more shortly. Please stay with us.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
Is your essay ready? Have you already submitted it? In 2024, who will be crowned the new champion? We're getting closer and closer to the deadline for submission. As a JHS student, don't miss out on the opportunity to win a whopping 10,000 Ghana cedis and an entire year of bragging rights for being the very best JHS student in Ghana. Additionally, you get to have your voice and thoughts heard nationwide as you contribute to national discourse. Here's how to join the Literacy Challenge 2024. In not less than 600 words, write about the role of the youth in shaping the future of Ghana. What changes would you like to see, and how can young people contribute to making them happen? Scripts must be in your own handwriting. Script must be endorsed by a parent. Add your full contact details. Deadline Saturday the 13th of July 2024. Submit entries to the front desk of Channel 1 TV or Citi FM, or send it to P.O. Box GP 14123 Accra Central. For inquiries, call 0205 973 973. The Literacy Challenge 2024 is powered by Citi FM, supported by Channel 1 TV, and is sponsored by Ghana National Gas Company, Alive Soap. Feel fresh, feel alive. From the House of Wilma Africa Limited. Fortune spread for bread. Yummy, delicious, always on point. Another quality product from Wilma Africa Limited. Ruby Biscuits by M4 Foods and Prospectus Ghana Limited.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes. Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
Citi Prime News at 12 midday. Update you on all the running stories and connect you to the newsmakers.
You're welcome back. Let's bring you some more stories this afternoon. The Court of Appeal has thrown out an application filed by Secretary to the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral Project, Reverend Victor Kusi Boateng. The suit sought to restrain the Member of Parliament for North Tongue, Samuel Okujeto Ablakwa, from discussing him in relation to the National Cathedral Project. Well, the court said the appeal failed to comply with the rules of the Court of Appeal and struck it out. This is the third unsuccessful attempt by Reverend Kusi Boateng, also known as Kwabena Eduje, to restrain the NP. The court also awarded a 3,000 Ghana cedis cost against Reverend Kusi Boateng. We'll do well to bring you updates in subsequent bulletins, but now the Chamber of Cement Manufacturers Ghana has expressed grave concern over a proposed legislative instrument seeking to regulate cement prices submitted to Parliament by the Minister for Trade and Industry, K.T. Hammond. The Chamber says this LI was tabled in Parliament without prior consultation with industry stakeholders. According to the Chief Executive of the Chamber, Dr. George Dawson Amwa, the proposal undermines fairness and fails to address the complex issues driving cement price escalation, primarily the rapid depreciation of the cedi against the dollar.
Well, in the very first place, the minister did not consult. In establishing the legislative instrument, one of the requirements is that you have to do a stakeholders consultative meeting. And as major stakeholders, cement manufacturers were not consulted. All that we heard was that The airline has been laid in Parliament, just for it to be established. So our petition is virtually to appeal to Parliament to decline so that the due processes will have to be observed or adhered to. That is, the Honourable Minister should be compliant with the processes of or the procedures in establishing an airline. Again, the motive of this airline is as a result of, current price increases of cement. That is the escalation of cement prices over the recent times. And that should tell you that there's a reason for that.
You heard the Chief Executive Officer for the Chamber of Cement Manufacturers Ghana, Dr. George Dawson Amwa. Away from that now, security analyst Adib Sani has described comments made by former Chief Executive of the Northern Development Authority, Dr. Charles Abugri, inciting young people to engage in violent protests as unfortunate. This comes after Dr. Abugri, during a speech at the Ghana Civil Society Forum 2024, called on the youth in the country to emulate their colleagues in Kenya by protesting over the poor economic conditions in the country. Speaking to City News, Adib Sani indicated that while economic issues in the country might be similar to Kenya's, violence is not the right resort.
The issues in Kenya is not very different from what is going on in Ghana. I mean, taxes are very high. It is choking the people. Cost of living is high. There are taxes on essential commodities such as bread, sanitary pads, and the rest. But that is not to justify the type of protest that is happening in Kenya. It is violent. People are dying. The country is in disarray. The potential of the violence widening to other parts of the country is quite high. It has become ethnic in nature. It's posing a threat to the security of the ECAS sub-region and all that. And I don't think that is the way to go. I mean, people are angry in Ghana. And the economic situation is not helping. A lot of Ghanaians are below the poverty line. But surely to take to the streets in a violent manner is not the answer. I have led protests before. There's nothing intrinsically or fundamentally wrong with people coming out in the streets to demonstrate over what is going on. Because surely it is a way of venting your frustration and anger. But for it to turn so violent to the extent of them besieging the Parliament House and even burning parts of the Parliament House, I don't think there's any justification whatsoever. His call is quite unfortunate. And if the laws are to be applied to the latter, I'm sure he would get an invitation to the police.
Security analyst Adib Sani. Away from that, President of the African Paralympic Committee, Samson Dean, has revealed that discussions are underway with the Ministry of Youth and Sports to ensure the para-athletes receive their bonuses following the team's victory in Egypt and their exploit at the Para-African Games hosted in Accra. His comments followed Coach Richard Obin's interview, where he mentioned that the team had not yet received the promised bonuses from the ministry before the start of the tournament in Egypt. In an interview with Citi News, Samson Dean urged the Ministry of Youth and Sports to speed up the payment process as the delay has left some athletes in a challenging situation.
It is true the amputee players have not been paid their bonuses or have not been rewarded for winning the trophy during the first African Para Games. It is very true. We at the National Paralympic Committee have been engaging the ministry with regards to that, and I can confirm that the minister has prioritized this particular African Para Games financial approvals, and then we have all gotten involved in always visiting the Ministry of Finance to see how best they could even issue a warrant to make sure that we get the necessary payments. I can tell you every day we are receiving letters from suppliers, we are receiving letters from hotels, we are receiving letters from all corners, and it's really hell on some of us who put our credibility online to engage these suppliers to be engaged, and they've gone for loans from the banks, and as we speak, they have not been paid. They have not been paid, honestly. So it's not only the players, also suppliers have also not been paid.
You heard the president of the African Paralympic Committee, Samson Dean. Moving on now, concerned youth of Nzima and Jomro in the Western region have raised concerns over a recent memorandum of understanding signed to establish a petroleum hub in the community. A $12 billion project, which is expected to cover 20,000 acres of land, has since met opposition by residents who fear being sidelined after its implementation. Now, speaking to Citi News, the president of the coalition outlined specific conditions that must be met before any land will be allocated for the project.
The total land being taken to us is too huge to be started with. So we are trying to explain to them that you are not ignoring the project that is coming. You are not ignoring it. But starting with phase 1, with that amount of 20,000 acres of land, you don't agree and you don't accept. And as you have stated, consider the Ghana gas, the number of people that are from Nzima that are working over there is not up to our expectation. So you don't want that thing to happen in Nzima, Jomoro. You understand? And when you go to Adamos also, the total amount of the workers is not our expectation. So you don't want to repeat ourselves. So you want in such a way that they will come down together and sit down with the community and have a good, let's say, argument.
You heard the president of the Coalition of Concerned Youth of Nzima and Jomro, James Iwatando. Now, away from that, the Director of Communications for the Dr. Bawumia campaign team, Dennis Miracles Abuaje, is optimistic about the chances of the flag bearer of the new patriotic party, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, in the 2024 general elections. He believes that Ghanaians have resolved to give the Vice President the opportunity to lead the country, signaling a new era of leadership and development. During an interview with Umaru Sanda on Face to Face on Channel 1 TV, Miracles Abuaje stated that the Ghanaian electorate is ready to allow Dr. Bawumia to showcase his leadership capabilities, as was done for former President Mahama in previous years.
People of Ghana are not measuring MPP again. They regard MPP in the highest esteem than the NDC. And so usually they will say, well, we expected more from you. And so if you haven't been able to do it, that's why you should allow us to be hard on you. And fortunately, we have a leader in Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, a leader who is magnanimous enough to say, listen, throw all the missiles at me. Shall we now, after listening to all the issues, come together and agree on the way forward? And that is how this campaign has been for us in the first phase. We've solicited a lot of feedback. We've refined a lot of the plans that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia had, and all of them are getting into the manifesto. But I can tell you that the people are resolved to allow Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia to also show what it is that he can also deliver to this country.
You heard the Director of Communications for Dr. Bawumia's campaign team, Dennis Miracles Abuaje. The International Finance Corporation, IFC, and Societe Generale have today signed a $25 million loan agreement designed to create new opportunities for women-led SMEs in Ghana. The partnership is integral to IFC's base of the Pyramid Platform, a $1 billion global financing facility aimed at delivering critical funding to small businesses, informal enterprises, and low-income households, with particular interest in women who have been impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic and the recent macroeconomic challenges. Speaking to Citi News on the sidelines of the IFC agreement signing ceremony, the senior country manager of IFC, Kyle Kelhofer, mentioned that this new transaction builds on IFC's existing relationship with Societe Generale to strengthen their cooperation.
Continuation of an existing partnership dating from 2020, where we provided financing for Societe Generale Ghana to support SMEs in general, but women-owned enterprises in particular. So this is a continued expansion with a $25 million line for support for SMEs, primarily women. Societe Generale has a specific program to support women, so this aims to strengthen that. And this is part of supporting the Ghanaian banking sector as part of an increasing resilient recovery by the banking sector in support of access finance to SMEs in Ghana.
Kel Kerhova is Senior Country Manager of the International Finance Corporation. Meanwhile, the Managing Director of Societe Generale, Hakeem Uzani, stated that this partnership will promote gender equality.
We have the same, I would say, global strategy, I think, at different levels between SG as a bank and IFC as a financial institution, and the same target of supporting this pillar of the economy. So the target is to continue the same way. I said just a few minutes ago that we will have this particular focus on the businesses which are owned by women for gender equality and balance. We have already many weeks ago organized special events.
Hakeem Uzani is Managing Director of Societe Generale, and that brings us to the end of today's edition of the Citi Prime News, which has been live from our studios in Adabraka, Accra. For more news, please log on to citinewsroom.com. My name is Ajwa Tinkramadumna. Thank you for your company. Good afternoon.
Citi News, we speak first. Reach our hotline on 0302 224959 and get interactive on Facebook, Citi 97.3 FM, and on Twitter at Citi 973.